began to circulate in this book as well, containing the names of the two people that she and Harry claim were racially insensitive about the potential skin colour of their baby. Now, these two can't normally wait to set the record straight, to sue, to go to court, to hold people to proper account for invasion of private correspondence or conversations. Why aren't they doing it now? They claim that they had nothing to do with Omid Scobie's new book. But you might remember Meghan claiming that about his last book. And then a strange thing happened. She was suing a newspaper, ironically, for invading her privacy over private correspondence. Are you serious? Rather similar to the situation we find ourselves in here. And when it came to the court case, after the book had been published that she had nothing to do with, she was forced to apologise because it turned out that not only had she had something to do with it...
What?
She'd given briefing notes to her aide to go to a meeting with Omid Scobie and brief him for the book. So she was a primary source for that book. So I don't know what you make of the silence from the Sussexes. We're into nearly week 2 now of a deafening, damning silence. Weird, right? Tessa Dunlop, you've been seething away quietly to my left. I can see you simmering.
Stop it.
So simmer away.
You appall me, Piers. Occasionally I think, no, he's found the light, he's seen the light, he's no longer crashing on about Harry. And then this appalling diatribe we've just had to sit through. You claiming, you lying there, suggesting that you're putting their names out effectively to save the monarchy. You put their names out for clicks. You're no better than Omid Scobie. In fact, you're worse. You call him a lickle-spittle. You're a great big gob of phlegm that's just landed on the royal doormat. I don't know how you slept last night. I struggled to sleep thinking about what you'd done. I really can't. And yes, I did. I did know that.
All right, stop.
You suggest that.
Stop the performative crap. Honestly, it's performative crap.
No, let's just hold on to your
calm
words.
down. Have a civilised conversation.
I'm not calm.
The idea you didn't sleep over this. You don't even know these people.
I was properly angry by your hypocrisy. And
are you serious?
then
What's
you
the
sit
hypocrisy?
there, Piers, because you spend day in, day out, you're pro-monarchy, the wonderful Queen, wonderful Charles, and then you go and dob Kate and Charles right in it when one's at COP28.
Didn't. Oh, no,
yes, you did.
Wait a minute. Oh, no, no.
Yes, you
no,
did.
no.
Okay, I'm listening. You have my attention.
No.
Oh, yes, you
I'll
did.
tell you who did that. Omid Scobie. Because these names appeared in a draft of his book, which was published in the Netherlands.
And they were
for
under
sale
the line.
To Netherlands
it was
people.
tittle-tattle to popped it on a Murdoch platform, and now you've just had the gall to suggest
you're
that
on a Murdoch platform right now.
I know I am.
You got a problem with that?
Correcting the record.
You got a problem with that?
For the record, that was Piers' highly dubious opinion. I've got a problem with you tonight, Piers.
Are you serious?
A real problem.
Why would you have a problem with being on a Murdoch platform?
Because what you did was you put those names.
You're being paid to appear.
Yes, I know, but you took the names.
Why are you doing
the
that?
rumour.
Why are you being paid to appear
and
here?
you put it on an official platform.
Why are you being paid?
You turned it from fiction
Why
to
have
fact.
you accepted money from a Murdoch?
Wait for it.
To challenge you about your behaviour and hypocrisy. And by the way, just the word baseless.
So
how do you know that Meghan's rumours were baseless? How do you know what she accused the royal family of?
Any of it?
But where's the evidence that it was baseless?
Where?
Well, obviously,
Wait for it.
it's very difficult when the two accusers are the chief witnesses.
They couldn't even decide on Oprah Winfrey what year these supposed conversations had happened or how many there were. Right? They couldn't decide what year.
Doesn't mean it didn't happen. You
really?
Take notes and write in your diary.
What?
Really?
Something happened.
Let me get a Dickie.
I just want to come in. You mentioned the Oprah interview, and quite frankly, Meghan said that it happened, the conversation happened when she was pregnant. About 10 minutes later, Harry came into the interview and said it happened before they were married.
Right.
So when did it happen? And did it happen? And there's a big question mark. I will take issue with you naming yesterday, and I made that point this morning. You are a bit of a law unto yourself.
He's worse than a law.
Excuse me, I didn't interrupt you.
Actually, just on the law point, it was entirely lawful what I did. So I did seek legal advice. I got very good, sound legal advice. And actually, there's no
Wait for it.
question. I didn't take the law onto myself. I actually applied the letter of the law. This information had been published in the Netherlands. Dutch people were free to read it, and I took a view. It was ridiculous that British people couldn't be aware of this information. Fact. I also said, when I named them, that I didn't believe a word of the racist allegations made against them.
I didn't either. Didn't believe anything of that interview. It was just a diatribe of absolute nonsense, as is the book Endgame. And as you rightly say, Endgame, the only person in Endgame is Scobie. But I did take issue in mentioning him last night. Yes, you have the Brits have a right to know. It's in the Dutch translation, but
Wait for it.
there are those who will say agree with you. There were those who disagree with you.
Well, many of the papers who've held off apparently tonight are going to name them.
You gave them no choice, Piers.
Actually, you always got a choice. Sorry, you always have a choice.
Everybody's got a choice.
Everyone has a
Right,
choice.
right,
Everyone had a
right.
choice when it was published in the Netherlands not to repeat the names, right? If they're all going to repeat them tonight in the papers, they were just a day after us, right? And I have a show called Uncensored for a reason. I don't believe in self-censorship. I don't believe when the Dutch people can read this information
Okay, I'm listening. You have my attention.
in a book available in bookstores, as some of them had already bought copies, that British people should be denied that information. And the information, by the way, is hugely significant. We've waited 2.5 years to find out who
Wait for it.
these members of the royal family were that Meghan Markle and
Only
Prince...
weird people
If
like you
don't
with
mind,
an
I'm not-
obsession, Piers,
I'm back
have
to
been
you.
waiting 2.5 years.
No, actually the entire country has.
No, that's just
Actually,
it's
the
a
entire country.
misrepresentation of most of the country.
What I actually want to know is, he said he had no help from the Sussex. And yet, on the other hand, he said he saw the letters.
Yeah.
So how did he see the
How?
letters?
How has he got the information?
Exactly.
He's not got it from King Charles.
It's all come from Montecito.
They are trapped at this point with each other.
A bombshell new article from Radar Online claims that Prince Harry is, quote, angry and
Here it comes.
frustrated at how his new life, living the promised American dream, has turned into a behind closed door nightmare locked in a Rapunzel-like tower with his wife, Meghan Markle. I'm going to get all the insight from Lady Colin Campbell, who has been reporting on this before anyone else, in just 1 second. But first, let me take you through these new details. So Radar Online reports that sources have revealed that 5 years since the Duchess of Sussex set in motion the plan that would see them quit the royal family, Harry feels like he was, quote, missold the idea. Radar Online's source says Meghan's sold their move to America as a way for their family to be happy, free, and relatively normal. But that doesn't seem to be the case for them and their kids at all. It's almost as if they, as a family, are living like Rapunzel in her tower. Even the locals in Montecito are puzzled. Archie and Lily are rarely seen with Meghan or Harry at local events like trick-or-treating at Halloween, for example. Harry is angry and frustrated at how things have turned out. He feels like he's been missold a life, plus he and Meghan are also leading pretty much separate lives. It's like they are an estranged couple living under the same roof. The children, by the way, according to Radio Online, are believed to attend a local
Wait for it.
school and nursery, and some online commenters have cheekily dubbed Lilibet Invisibet because the princess, who was born in California, has been seen even less frequently in public than her older brother.
What?
But a source added the biggest shock for Harry is that he thought raising the kids away from the royal family would give them more freedom. In California, though, the opposite has happened. In fact, Archie and Lilibet's world seems even more cosseted than his own upbringing as an heir to the British crown. It also says that Harry thinks that his kids deserve similar normal experiences growing up as his mother, Princess Diana, provided him, but Meghan is reluctant. One more real bombshell source quote here. Harry feels as if they are living in a bubble. He's beginning to think he had more freedom as a kid growing up in a palace. Of course, while Harry, like Meghan, will always prioritize their kids' safety, he's worried Archie and Lilibet are missing out too. Well, Lady Colin Campbell, of course, we have been reporting on the strains in the marriage before.
Stop it.
Or anyone in the mainstream media. However, fascinating details here from Radar Online, and I have to give Radar Online credit because they have been brave on this story where many of their contemporaries in America have not been.
Yes, well, it's interesting, but you notice, Dan, how wide a net they cast, and some of it is actually quite accurate. For instance, the fact that had those children been brought up in Britain and living within the royal folk, Windsor is very protected, and Windsor has a lot of acreage, a hell of a lot more than Montecito. Sandringham, Balmoral, these, even the palaces in London, they are
Wait for it.
rather large complexes, except of course for Clarence House, which is a relatively small house. But the king lives in Clarence House. But the rest of the palaces are pretty large complexes.
Stop it.
And they would have been having a suite of rooms in one of the palaces. So they would have benefited from the freedom that being ring-fenced by the royal protection squad would have provided them with. And it is when Harry goes on about, on the one hand, about how free California is, it's not free. First of all, you have to drive everywhere. Secondly, you're in a gated community and you really don't have that much contact with your neighbors. And if
That doesn't make sense.
you break it down, the children are very isolated, and they would inevitably be isolated in a way that had they been within the royal
Wait for it.
fold here, they would not have been isolated. Because, for instance, in Kensington Palace, you know, it's a vast complex. I'm sure you know it's a vast complex, but the public might not know. Where you have some pretty grand apartments, but you have lots of little cottages and smaller apartments. And it's a village. It's a true village. And it's a village that's shut off from everywhere else. So there is a freedom there. And of course, if they are at Sandringham or Balmoral, they're on thousands of acres of protected property. So quite how, on the one hand, Harry and could feel that the children would benefit from a freer upbringing in California than they'd have here. It's again, it's a sign of, I'm sorry, insanity.
And what leads to that insanity? The mind boggles. You've had lots of impeccable sources on this. Do you think Radar Online's description as an estranged couple living under the same roof is broadly accurate?
I think it's certainly accurate some of the time. I don't know that it's accurate all of the time, but I think it is accurate some of the time. Harry and Meghan's relationship it follows a classical